Welcome, friends. As we start today's episode, I want to share how honored I am that you're listening and how grateful I am that our guests are sharing some of the most vulnerable moments of their life. My next guest on Female Frequency podcast, artist Meg Holgate, shares a pivotal day that cracked open her world and changed her life path forever. She is asking us to explore a relationship with the earth through astonishing portals. This master of luminosity and landscape has exhibited in galleries across the globe, at the Museum of Glass, at the Museum of Northwest Art. So, in this conversation, you're going to hear more about her glass series titled Glass Rocks and how she uses veils of color to achieve the mood and the impact and the dialogue that she's after. This conversation is also included in my docuseries titled Climate Pledge in Glass, which is something that I created in 2023 in partnership with Refract, the Seattle Glass Experience, which is the nation's newest festival that's really celebrating the innovative and creative uses of glass. So listen as we journey into Meg Holgate's ethereal landscapes, and as I ask, how do we restore a sense of wonder and awe? Hello, and Meg Holgate, thank you so much for joining us. I see that you were inside your studio today in LaConner, Washington. How are you?
Jody, I'm wonderful and glad to be with you today.
Oh, thank you. I see that you have some of your glass sculptures behind you. As we talk about your glass sculptures, I'm going to put up a picture of them. And when I saw your work at the Museum of Glass and your exhibition titled Coastal Alchemy, I remember one of the reviews really struck with me, and I thought it was so accurate. They said it was all veil and nuance under translucent glass. So, with that, can you take us on your journey of how you started making these sculptures? So, what did your aha moment look like?
My aha moment was probably about 12 years ago, and it was on Quadra Island where we have a home. And lucky for me, the great environmentalist, the great Canadian environmentalist, David Suzuki, also had a home there. And he was giving a lecture on this particular day. And I came away from his lecture almost completely altered. I was in shock that I had not paid closer attention to our climate change issues. I was in shock that fish had all kinds of microplastics in their bodies, and therefore, so did we. I woke up in the most strange way from this sort of sleep I think I had been in. And I didn't even know I had been asleep. And so from that day forward, I felt very compelled as an artist to somehow find a way to thread and integrate what I was beginning to understand into my work.
Yeah, these awakenings are so powerful. And I feel so honored to be able to talk to you about these awakenings, particularly when it comes to Mother Earth and our climate crisis, because we need creative solutions. We need people to talk about these things and to pay attention right now. So how did the form of the rock come into play?
Well, that came in sort of in an organic way. The form itself had been in my paintings. And when I had the opportunity to exhibit at the Museum of Glass, and I wanted to play with glass so much, I thought, this is this moment where I can extract a form from my paintings and then develop something in a three-dimensional way while still staying true to the idea of contemplation and beauty. And of course, the rock is from Mother Earth, and glass is made from Mother Earth. So to actually, in the true sense of the alchemist, be able to bring it out and then to form it and play with it all at the same time felt so much a part of the work that I'm doing as an artist, the way I reference work.
I think they're beautiful. And I can see from this image, and I just wanted to let everybody watching that this particular photograph are glass rocks that range in sizes from probably, are we going 5 inches to about 12?
Yes.
Yeah, these are
Yes.
great. So these were a form that, if we, take it chronologically, you had done some paintings, then you worked in glass. Have these gone off to spawn other inspirations in your work or other forms?
Well, they have. So more recently, I have exhibited work around climate change that speaks to our melting cryosphere. And so I have made some what I think are beautiful glass icebergs. So the
Yeah.
forms continue, the rock, the iceberg. And I love glass, the transparency, the ability to mold it, to have something three-dimensional, which also speaks, to the work. So it's a very natural sort of segue for me. And the shapes are beautiful, and the characteristics of glass, I think, are very much in line with how I see work. A transparency, a philosophical transparency, the colors. I look at the rocks and I think they're all little paintings. And so I approach the rocks as though, as a painter too, with a palette, with the idea of design and beauty, and just another way to reference our beautiful world.
Oh, absolutely. I see the one in the center here is really refracting and reflecting the light. And glass just is one of those mediums that is such a chameleon. You can really add the color and the decoration to make it look like anything. And these really do look so grounded, yet fragile.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And that's
Absolutely.
part of what I love about it, because when we think of rocks, we certainly don't think of fragile. But as we move into our climate change issues more and more deeply, there is a fragility there with our climate. And so I think the transparent rocks especially, I think reflect a fragility that I think we are addressing today.
Absolutely. And not to necessarily put you on the spot, but if a policymaker about climate change were to see your sculptures, what do you hope that they would glean?
I think back to the idea that things can be broken very, very quickly, that we are here on this earth for a very short time, and that our planet is indeed very fragile. And my hope is that these are really contemplations, that the policymaker would take a moment to stop and look at that and reflect on it, and just think about, where we are right now, and actually how little time we have to make the changes that a policymaker could actually put forward. We kind of need a climate emergency declaration is probably what we need at this point. So the policymakers, I think, are perhaps those people that can make it happen for us.
Absolutely. I hope to help put these sculptures in front of them so we can create much more activism around this subject with the beauty that you are creating, because we are at that precarious edge where we could lose it if we're not trying to regenerate what we have. And for those who are just getting to know Meg Holgate, she is part of the exhibition titled A Precarious Edge, which has been on view at the Shack Art Center and at the Museum of Northwest Art, and hopefully going on the road again. But I think that there's some things in the works, so we can't quite announce those. Is that right?
Yes, I think we have things in early development. For me, as an artist, and probably for as long as I live, I will be on a mission to move the needle in terms of policy making and art and everything, to expand on our awareness around climate change. So much to be done.
Much to be done, and your voice matters. Thank you so much for inviting us into your studio and giving us that personal tour into your glass rocks and your special alchemy that you have. I appreciate your creativity so much.
Lovely to be with you. Thank you.
Absolutely.